listening to this this really cool podcast on artists. It's called Art and Healing, and it's based on the idea that people are doing art, but not just to do art to sell, but art for a purpose. And there were two artists on there who were artists from California who actually started taking plastic from the beach and cleaning up the ocean. And when they did that, as artists, they began to see the material as art material. And so they started making incredible jewelry, and she did, and incredible wall pieces, and all kinds of cool things out of plastic. Well, I was praying one morning and meditating, and I got this little thing that said, you need to start collecting plastic. Well, I start collecting plastic and don't have any idea what I'm going to do with this stuff. And so, long story short, I started making green jewelry. This is called Plastic's Beautiful Jewelry. It's made out of different kinds of plastic that I take and heat with a heat gun and change the form into, I'll show some here. I actually change the form of these pieces to make them look like something like it's very, very old or organic material. I started with that. Then after I went through a plastics place, I went through a whole plastic obsession, I started then thinking, what can I do with this metal that I get all the time from these tuna cans that my cats are going through? And I just hate the idea of putting them in a recycle place because I know that this stuff is hardly always, they're not always recycled. And it lands up in the landfill. So I started collecting these cans, washing the cans and bringing the cans here and starting cutting them and everything. Well, I started then using various kinds of altering effects, aging effects, using patina and rusting solution and metallic paint and all kinds of stuff to make the pieces look old. And that's one of my pieces. And that's actually a tuna can that I altered and turned into metal. I thought, well, now tuna cans are made out of metal, so why not start using the metal? So I have all my tuna cans now, and I'm going to start making wall hangings, and I'm going to start making Christmas tree ornaments and all kinds of stuff using the cans, okay? And I'm all excited about that because now I found this artist. That's another thing I watch stream on my computer. My computer's streaming right to the TV, so I sit and watch YouTubes. I found this incredible artist that actually is an artist who uses a lot of recycled material in her work. And now she's an inspiration for me because she's also a jeweler. That's the next thing I started doing, is doing these, I'm going to start doing this kind of jewelry too, which is next.
I thought the FBI finally found me.
But this is also an example of the jewelry that I'm doing, which is again repurposing. This is a repurposed rosary, and I repurposed the rosary, and I made it into jewelry. And I basically take all kinds of stuff, beads, and this is polymer clay bead, a face bead, and stuff I find, stuff I just break apart, and I create repurposed jewelry. And that's another thing I started doing. Well, then the next thing I started doing are the faces, and I did the faces for a while as pendants. Then I discovered that, okay, well, people here in Southern Pines are not going to wear pendants like I do, with the big gawky pendants. They're just not going to wear it. So I thought, okay, the next thing to do is make them into wall pieces. So that's when I did the wall pieces. Now the surfaces that you see are done with various different techniques, using a recipe that I actually experimented with and discovered. This is actually made from plaster and watered down glue to give it this really cool stone surface. This is joint compound. This is also joint compound. This is also joint compound. So I use a lot of joint compound in my work, and this again is aged, makes it look like something that you found in the ocean. I also age and rust my chains, and of course the faces are on there. So I made a face place, and I'm really into faces. So this is my next face series, which will be in Flynn's. She's going to give me a wall to put these faces on. And these are different faces that I made out of different things. I also use styrofoam. Melted styrofoam is wonderful. It actually creates incredible just really neat stuff. When you put the styrofoam on the canvas and you take a heat gun again and you melt the styrofoam around the piece, it makes this incredible, you can't even tell what it is, it's just neat stuff. And I also, last year, I did a class where the kids took a computer apart. So I've got all kinds of computer pieces that I also incorporated into my jewelry, but also now I'm incorporating into my face pieces. So that's what I do. And when I do something, in fact, I did a YouTube, will be on YouTube, where I actually showed the whole process of how I create, even bringing people down to the basement. I took the camera down to the basement and said, okay, now you want to know how I start. People ask me how I start my process. This is how I start my process. This is my storage room. I just take bins of stuff up to my studio. I put it on the floor. I put it on the table. I don't know what I'm doing with all this stuff. I just start. And then I kind of showed a video of my procedure and how I was doing things. And it's cool to do that. It's really cool to do that because it's cool to have that for yourself, for one thing, and also to share it with other artists. You know, other artists are, that's really what I want to do, is inspire other artists like they inspire me too. So that's why I started doing YouTubes, and I got 62 videos on them.
Wow, 62.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, any questions? Yeah.
Can we do like a show and tell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it'll just be a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm through.
I just wanted to tell you all that